So in the beginning, how does it work is basically we're going to have the debaters for about 60 seconds to basically present your case. And then we'll have a discussion. And we'll also then have audiences to basically raise questions.
When it comes to AI in particular, I do believe that it has the ability to level the playing field and allow, Davis to go up against Goliath. Some smaller and less meaningful example could be the tenfold or hundredfold increase in productivity that you can have on a day-to-day basis just as a person. If you want to create something or analyze something or produce something, brand it, the photo on mid-journey, text, anything. But if you want to go to the extreme end of the spectrum, my model example would be OpenAI as a startup going against the behemoth Google in the AI world. When we talk about enterprise level, right, I hear talk about scaling the AI products. How do we get the virus? Right, how you might enter something in ChatGPT and ask that to someone and say, but you are opening your data to the internet. So next time someone asks someone, okay, ChatGPT has the data. You do give it, right? So the problem with this is when big companies want to get onto this field, and leverage the AI, they have two options maybe. Either they, give the data out to internet, OpenAIs, or to build their own models in-house infrastructure. And that's costly. That's very costly. You need a lot of TPUs and even developers who can then, train your model. I don't think that it will usually transform the market, traditional market, the things that have been already set up by companies like IBM or Miracle or something like that. If you want, like the bank with EU to go and regulate AI, then that will teach a lot of patents as well. Our freedom to think, our ability to build and create. I know how to code. You cannot stop me from building, really. Just because somebody will abuse it, that doesn't mean you punish everyone. So, in addition to all of that, and then it's not really AI. No, it's a statistical model to become words or the likelihood of the thing that you want to act. See, but if I was an engineer in OpenAI, and people were impressed with ChatGPT more than Daddy, I would probably kill myself, honestly. So I think we are afraid of something that we don't understand well. And we can't even control, and you will never stop this out. And if you want to stop it, if you're frightened, and if you want to stop it, then governments and militaries only will have it. Just like nuclear power. The comparisons to previous tech revolutions are totally inappropriate and we should stop using them. This is a totally different piece that we're talking about. The typewriter, the tractor, the electric engine, etc., that transform things, were not actively being designed and used to invade our psychology, to shorten our attention spans, to capture our attention, to sell us stuff, to distract us, to confuse us with misinformation, etc. This is a totally different era, a totally different time and process that we've never gone through before. And we've already had evidence from the last 20 years of how AI has been used and the negative harmful effects that it's been having. And we've been totally irresponsible about not responding to that, responding to the increases of mental health problems, like these problems of loneliness, problems like social fragmentation, issues of trust, the collapse of our democracies, our media systems, etc. So we have we already have had evidence that this stuff used unregulated, irresponsibly at the hands of a small number of people is causing harms. And if we don't take action against it, it's going to lead to further social, economic, political, etc. collapse. This is one thing. Second is that these tools are being used. They are open. There's an incredible aspect of democratization, but at the same time, we're seeing an incredible trend towards concentration of power and wealth. So you pointed right another correctly where privacy and where cost. When you said privacy, the solution to privacy is twofold. It's regulations, which more and more countries are starting to put heavy regulations on feeding data into AI. That you use Carter, others will follow. And there are the alternatives. You don't have, if you want to deploy AI at Gemini for your company, you don't have, it's a false thing to say your only choice are sending your data to Microsoft or to Google, or to Amazon with Cloud. You go to Hugging Face and you find 300,000 open source models that you can test and you can download for free on-prem. Okay? Yes, training AI takes a lot of thousands of GPUs, but fine-tuning does not. You could, and insurance does not. You can run enterprise AI with a very, very reasonable server infrastructure.
In general sense, when people think of AI, I can put something, I can get something. But that's ChatGPT, that's open. But when we talk about actual use of it, you said like, go to Hugging, download the model, training. But that's something like you show them the Mercedes, give them tools, and they're building side. But you know the difference between open AI and the Hugging Face models, how long it will take them to reach to that level of sophistication, right? And the cost. So there is no point of saying that it's cost effective. It's not. They actually at the things of maybe it's lot of GPUs and everything. If you want to get that kind of results, you will need that kind of power ultimately. So you don't have any choice actually. If you want to have something like OpenAI, something like that, maybe then you will either have building an infrastructure or you are giving them GPU. So I don't think that we'll get the same result by building your own model. Which you see might be lower, which you see on OpenAI.
So this guarantees your data privacy. Your second kind was the problem of cost. Yes, training the first ChatGPT 3 costed 6,000 or 6,000 GPUs and 6 weeks. But Databricks finished training their own model 5 days ago, and it costed $10 million. That's a 10x decrease just in less than 18 months. The training cost will keep going down, the inference cost will keep going down, and then it will be more democratized. Not only the people backed by Microsoft, the $1 trillion company, but people like Databricks, who is, yes, not a small startup like us, but still a startup. Let me try to answer Munir. I mean, you said we can't keep giving these people the power. We're not giving them anything. The power is there. Okay, we can't do anything to prevent them from taking it. What we can do is make sure that everybody else gets it. Again, go to Hugging Face. 300,000 models that are available for me and you to download today and fine-tune and go compete with the giants. Okay, but a few talented data scientists. So when you talk about the power, you remind me about the nuclear power in particular. It's a shame that nuclear power, just because of Fukushima and Chernobyl, got this many uninformed bad publicity. Nuclear power could give us the cleanest power that we have for this planet if we handle it properly. Kill the fossil fuels million times better than solar and wind. But it can also be used to kill 700,000 people in Hiroshima. It can be used for good, it can be used for power. It is intrinsically not good, intrinsically not bad. So we'll be good same for AI. It could be that nuclear power could be used to destroy cities, could be used to empower us. It does green energy for forever. I think AI is fascinating and has incredible potential for positive things, except that it also gives wonderful superpowers to people who are very bad and have very negative intentions, very harmful intentions in this world. And we're putting it in the responsibility of companies who have thus far demonstrated that they care very little about our human progress and human well-being. I mean, in terms of some of the stuff that, like, some areas that are not so wild, and a lot of the stuff that already has demonstrated negative impacts, and we've seen like increases in mental health problems of young people in addition to social media, all of that is using very early AI. And so then we're giving a lot of these big companies more of those superpowers to basically play around with our brains, while the regulation side is very far behind. And the part that I find very surprising is that there's been a lot of advocacy saying there should be less regulation. So there are ways to build responsible models, but if you look at the other users of AI, we're discovering new medicine using AI. We're discovering new material using AI. We're placing a lot of dumb, stupid humans that are creating stupid, deadly mistakes with AI. Yes, technology will always replace human factor, but guess what? We are a parasite with this planet. Nobody can take us out. Nothing can take us out. We are the ones that's destroying this planet, actually. So if we're destroying it, let's make it better for us. Why not? Because, everybody was afraid of robotic arms. Oh, it will take all factories and workers' jobs. Yes, please keep them in their misery. Okay? Let them be enslaved in their factories. And this is actually a craft job. I'm using technology to elevate people, and then their kids, they can elevate and upskill and actually do something better with their lives. That's not bad. And it was. But my point is, why not? It's not that the democratization isn't there, but it's somehow a figment covering this incredible concentration of wealth and power in an increasingly small number of people in this world. And this is why we see this concentration even of wealth in a smaller number of people in the US. They're increasing influence in the media realm. So incredibly wealthy people buying media outlets to again control the discourse, the discussion, what kind of information are we seeing, which then is also having increasing control of the governance system. And so the US was a corporatist democracy. In my mind, the US has always been sort of a partial democracy. There have been a lot of problems with that. It's been an experiment in progress, but that has been declining and weakening with the concentration of wealth and with the concentration in these technologies. Now, the upside is that, so I believe that there's an equation that somehow exists in the world. I'll share it with you folks. It's a work in progress, but it's also something that I think is empowering. So I believe that if we think of any sort of binary problem, binary issue, if we think that there's, the pro-vaxxers and the anti-vaxxers, or in the US, there's the Democrats and Republicans, something like this, that the outcome of any sort of debate will be this equation, which is the number of people on one side multiplied by the time that they spend on that issue, multiplied by some factor of resources, intelligence, something like that. What did they come to the table with? And then if you get that same equation on the other side, the outcome of whatever debate will be the result of that equation. And so if we want AI to have a positive impact in this world, in my mind, it's very likely, right now, we don't know. Is it going to collapse the world? Is it going to lead to a better world? The outcome of this will be how many people are doing good stuff with AI, multiplied by their effort. How much time are they spending? Is this a little thing, they're doing it an hour or two a week, or this is a full-time thing or whatever? So how many people multiplied by how much time and effort they're putting in this, multiplied by resources, their funding, their intelligence, or whatever they bring to it. And then you have all of the people doing really nasty, horrible shit with it. And then much of the world right now, in my mind, of the commercial world, is either on the negative side, because they're actually doing stuff that is disrupting lives, communities, economies, social fragmentation, people's psychology and their brains, etc., or it's value neutral. Meaning it's meaningless. It's not helping us one way or the other. And so how can we get more people doing good stuff? This is what we need. This is where we can all come in and do way more AI for good competitions, way more AI for good startups, way more AI for good investments, etc., to help tilt that.
Any questions? Please raise your hand and talk about to whom you are trying to refer, Enlightened Care or the Frightened Care.
I realized from all these topics that the main problem is not in AI. Main problem is the human beings. And we are afraid for ourselves. let's say if you are building some tool, I become understanding, oh, maybe you can use the case to it. I am fighting with hallucinations, what you can do. I will never know what you are able to do, what you can do in reality, but the function I operated just under the same you are doing. In this scenario, or in this case, I think the right solution were tools which are coming up, because actually a human being is very lazy structure and want to live an amazing life, and everyone around should be as way us and take care about us. This is our main goal of ourselves. We don't want to work. But the reality of the tools which come up, especially with AI, must be realized. Let's say the power or the balance of the power is achievable. It means we can a little bit powerful. If I work on myself or I will use other tools, I'll finally reach, and you cannot, let's say, destroy me or do so many things which I cannot achieve. It means in this scenario we're in balance and we will work for ourselves for good.
People have been confused with misinformation since the beginning of humanity, like starting from religious scripts, moving to news we see on TV. So AI is just a tool. Like if you want to confuse people, you can do that with other ways. If there's not AI, you're going to invent something to do bad, and you didn't invent something to do good. If you want to kill someone, you don't have a gun, you can kill them with a knife. And if you don't have a knife, you can kill them with a stone. And you can beat them to death. So it doesn't really matter. Like AI is just, it's not this thing that brings harm to people, sense. And it's not the thing that brings good to people. It just depends on what you're about to do with it.
Yes, you can kill somebody with a knife, but AI tools being used today is the same as having comparing a machete with a AK-49, which has unlimited rifles, unlimited bullets, firing 1,000 bullets per second. It's the massive impact of it and how simple it is to redeploy put in the wrong hands, which the ball. It's not the fact that it's good or bad. I mean, everything has been good or bad, like you were saying before. It's how easy it is to deploy and how much of an effect they have on a massive amount of people in a very short time frame and for very low cost.
Guns don't kill people. People kill people. That's the purpose.
Point over there, the great proposition is within the scope of startups, where we have tools to basically provide value to the end user or to the citizen. How can this particular tool be useful? Is it enlightening in a sense that it is actually empowering them, the end user, which the Frightened camp has really said that over the period, with so many other tools that have come about, it hasn't been able to do so. But the Enlightened camp is saying that this tool can't able to actually accelerate, which we haven't been able to do so before. So within this perspective, just imagine that like giants, corporations that have actually been, globalized across the world, I have been able to do that, but aren't they able to really provide the real value at the end of the day?
When some human beings and then corporates or some individuals get some power, always in their life is come together, there's time to do that for others. This is the reality of our being, and this is our opinion. And you have to find with this tool. If you want to create something in balance and don't let others be more than you, keep it in balance, do a little bit more decentralized, let everyone know. That's why right now, education, the spread with all education. And everywhere, you can realize what you can do, what he can do, and I have the same tool, because they will not those kind of people fighting with each other. But if I give a terrible moment to realize that I am more powerful in the top of you, I will use it 100%. This is the main point.
There has been a huge protest in Hollywood with the creative people, and especially the writers and artists. And you can actually also see that ChatGPT 4 is not the same as you would have seen in a ChatGPT 3.5. And it's so much of copyright issues has been employed in it, and it's not really being able to provide that same value simply because the Frightened camp of it has actually talked about a lot about it. So just to add on very quickly on it, anybody else who would like to share their few thoughts about it?
As far as startups are concerned, we started this definitely go conflict. So but it is a very generalized one. You go for second, you're talking about industry specific things, right? Mistral, no one knows what data it was paying for. It has never released, is it? why Mitchell and Vista is performing so better? No one knows. Everyone knows that it is because of the data. Right? No one knows what the data is. Do you know if I Mistral? Right? It's by Microsoft. Okay? Microsoft trained on Mistral, right? And that is called EFI Mistral. Then SFR, Salesforce, it trained again on EFI Mistral, right? And SFR is the best out in the market. But SFR will not provide what data they use, how much data they use. No research paper, nothing. Salesforce had that resources to get that data. And that's why it's doing the best in the market. No one else had that data. Salesforce knew what industry they wanted to focus on. And that's why they gathered all that data, and that takes a lot of resources. Small startups cannot do it. Small startups, like if you want to write a story, if you want to make a chatbot, you can write a story, write a poem, something like that. Yes, sure, you can do that. But if you want to really address a problem with AI, you need to have that access. You need to have that resource. Otherwise, you can't.
So anybody, lastly, how many of you guys are still with the enlightened camp? Please show your hands. Okay. And the frightened camps.
What?
No. So, all right, the proposition is finalized. Enlightened camp it is. Thank you so much.
Right.
And it should affect us something.